Hello, my sewing friends, and welcome to the channel. My name is Q, and this is Q's Beyond Fashion. Today, we are going to be making this gorgeous cowl neck dress. At the back, it has an opening, as you can see. In my case, I made the opening to be a bit smaller because obviously I wear a bra. But you can make the opening at the back to be as wide as you want it to be. Again, I just want to take this moment and say thank you to my subscribers. Let's sew together. Let's get to making the cowl neck dress, shall we?
To make the cowl neck dress, we are going to start by drafting the bodice. We have already drawn these two lines which are going to mark as our starting points. We are going to start by drafting our front. So from this point, we are going to measure the distance of our shoulder to shoulder measurement divide by 2, which is 16 divided by 2. In my case, it is 8 inches. So I'm going to measure it like so. And then from here, we are going to measure down 1 inch. Across, we are going to measure the width of our neckline, 3.25 inches in my case. I make a mark, draw the shoulder line by joining these 2 points. Measure our armhole depth, which in my case is 8 inches. Draw a line. Also join these 2 points. Find half of this line, which is 4 inches. And then measure in half an inch. From the top, we are going to measure the depth of our neck and the front, 3.5 inches. And then we draw the neck curve. And then we measure our waist length, which is 16.5 inches in my case. Square a line. Divide the bust circumference by 4, which is 42 divided by 4 in my case, and the answer is 10.5 inches. Measure 10.5. Then along the waist, we are going to divide the waist circumference by 4, which is 36 in my case, divided by 4. The answer is 9 inches. We are not going to add any dots because the fabric we are using is a stretchy fabric. Next, we draw the armhole curve. We join this point to this point. Next, we are going to extend all the lines so that we can draw the back. Next, from this point going that side, we are going to measure the bust circumference divided by 4, 10.5 inches. And then take this distance along this line and also along this line. Next, we roll out a line. Measure 8 inches, which is half the shoulder to shoulder. Measure the shoulder slope, which is 1 inch. And then measure the arm side, which is 8 inches in my case. And then measure the shoulder width, which is 3.25 inches in my case. The depth of the neck at the back is 1 inch. Next, we draw the neck curve. Draw the shoulder line. And then, as we've already measured, the bust circumference divided by 4 is 10.5 inches, which is up to this point. And then measure the same distance here, which is 8 inches. Draw a straight line. Find half of this. Go in by 0.25. And then draw the armhole. Next, we measure the waist circumference divided by 4, which is 9. Join this point to this point. And then we cut out the patterns. Because this is a sleeveless dress, we are going to reduce this side by 0.5 of an inch. And we rejoin this point to the armhole. Then we cut this out. Do the same to the back. Measure in 0.5 of an inch. Join this point to the armhole. Next, we cut this out. Next, we are going to come to the chest line and we are going to slash it and cut up to this point, but make sure that you don't cut through. So this is how we are going to create the cowl effect on the front. We are going to open the front like that. We'll open it for 6 inches. which we are going to measure right here. If you want the cowl effect to be more at the front, you can open it up to maybe 10. But note that the more you open this part, the bigger the cowl effect, and you may find that your cleavage ends up showing. Next, we put this aside. Next, we're going to create the open back. We are going to measure down from the nape of the neck 1 inch, make a mark. And then from here, we are going to measure in 1.5 inches. And then we're going to measure down 5.5 inches. If you want the open back to be bigger, you can measure down by up to maybe even 8 inches or more. I'm going to make mine to be 5.5 inches. And then from this point, we are going to measure in 3 inches. Again, this is optional. You can make it to be 4 inches or even 5 or even 6 inches. And thereafter, I join the points. I want to create curves right here. So I'm just going to use my free hand to create a curve. Then I can use a ruler to join. Get rid of any sharp points. Next, we cut out this part. So this is how our open back will look. Next, we're going to place our front on the folded edge of the fabric, which is this side. And then we open up. We measure 6 inches. Secure the pattern. Next, we just draw around the pattern as I'm doing now, starting from the neckline. Next, we draw a straight line to meet the neck. Next, we're going to cut around our pattern. We left a sewing allowance of 0.5 and 0.25 around the armhole and also 0.25 around the neck. This is how the cowl will be created. This will be our shoulder line. Next, again, we place the back pattern on folded fabric like so. And then we're going to trace the pattern onto the fabric. And next, we cut around the pattern. Next, this is our front. We have also cut a lining for it. We are using the same fabric for the lining. We place it the right sides facing each other, and then we pin the top. We also pin around the armhole. These are the back pieces. In the same way, we have also cut the lining for them. And the lining is of the same fabric, as you can see. We are also going to pin the armhole, the neckline, and also the opening at the back. So we are going to sew around the armhole, the neckline, and also the opening at the back. We are also going to sew the front, the neckline, and also the armhole. We have sewn the neckline and also the armhole. Next, we're going to snip around the armhole, and then we're going to turn over the fabric. Next, we turn over to the correct side. We have also sewn the bag around the opening, neck, and also armhole. We are going to snip around the curves and also the armhole as well. Next, we are going to turn over. We do the same to this side. Next, we are going to press everything. These are the back pieces on the correct side. Everything has been pressed. This is the front. Next, we are going to place the top like so. We are going to insert our hand like so onto the shoulder line. And we grab the corresponding shoulder line. We hold it like that. And then we pull it to the side. Make sure you align the seams. Align the seams on the other side as well. Continue pinning around the shoulder line. So this is how it's going to look. Do the same to the other side. So this is how it's going to stand. Next, we're going to sew the shoulder line. The shoulder line is done and has been pressed. As you can see, it is knit. Next, we are going to attach the bodice onto the skirt. We are going to cut our skirt on the fabric. We are going to start by cutting the front of our skirt. So we have already folded the fabric into two. This is the folded edge. We've already marked a starting line at the top. So our waist is 9 inches. Then we add 0.5 sewing allowance. So it's going to be 9.5 inches. We make a mark. And then our waist to hip measurement is 9 inches plus the sewing allowance around the waist, which would be 0.5. So we have 9.5 inches as well. And then we can mark a straight line. Next, we are going to mark the hip circumference divided by 4, which is 46 divided by 4. The answer will be 11.5 inches plus 0.5 for sewing, which is going to be 12 inches. So we are going to mark 12 inches. And then the waist to knee measurement is 25 inches plus the 0.5 for sewing at the top. We will have 25.5 inches going down. So this is going to be our knee line. Then we draw a straight line. So we are going to mark the same 12 inches we marked here. Next, we are going to shape our skirt along the knee by 1 inch coming inwards. I want my skirt to be long, so I want it to be 37 inches, and then I'm going to add 1 inch hemming allowance. So it is going to be 38.5 if I add the 0.5 for the top. So I'm going to mark 38.5 inches from the top, going down like so. Draw another straight line. Next, we join the hip to the waist using a curve. We join this shaped point onto the hip line. And then next we join this point to the bottom. Cut out our skirt. Next, we are going to use the front of our skirt to cut out the back of our skirt. At the center back, we have left an allowance of 2 inches. We are going to use it for creating a slit at the back. Our slit is going to be 6 inches from the knee line. So we are going to measure 6 inches. Next, we slant our slit like so. We cut out our back pattern. This is our skirt. At the center back, of course, we'll insert a zipper. We are going to pin the front of our top to the front of our skirt. Place the top and the skirt right sides facing each other and pin. We have pinned the front. This is the back of our skirt. We have gone ahead to sew it from this position going down up to the slit. We left some space for inserting the zipper at the top. So again, we are going to place it right sides facing each other, and we're going to pin everything. Next, we are going to sew around the back and also the front. The top and the skirt has been sewn together. As you can see, this is the back and this is the front. Next, we are going to insert the zipper. We have inserted our zipper right here. We have also sewn the sides, as you can see, and we have also hemmed the bottom. So our dress is now complete, and this is how the dress looks at the back. Make sure to like the video, to leave us a comment, and also subscribe to the channel. Also, you can get basic patterns by visiting QSBeyondFashion.com. See you on our next one. Remember, you can do all things through Christ who gives you